we're going to get going. We've got junior linebacker Diego Fagot with us. Since we don't have a lot of people, once you're called on, you can ask as many questions as you want till we go to the next person instead of just doing one or two at a time. Just in the chat function to the right, just type in question, and then when I call on you, just first time around, state your name and your media organization, and we'll get to it. So right now we're wide open. Who has the first question? Todd, I know you're writing a feature, so I'll let you go first if you're ready.
Diego, can you hear me?
Yep, I can.
Great. Has it been tough practicing with all this uncertainty going on, whether you're going to play or not play, with that cloud hanging over you?
I think initially it was obviously not knowing what's going to happen in the season has been pretty frustrating. But more recently, I've kind of just realized, hey, at least I'm not sitting in my room, or at least I'm not, just working out for no reason now. It's more, hey, I'm playing football every day, and at least I have that opportunity, so I'm just going to take every day like it's my last almost, you know what I mean?
Go ahead, Scott. Do you have a follow-up? Todd. Go ahead, Todd. Do you have a follow-up? You're still muted. You're muted.
I'm sorry. Diego, also, how big of an honor is it for you to be on all these preseason watch lists at linebacker? Do you pay attention to that at all? And what's it mean for the program for a player to kind of be recognized like that?
Yeah, for the program, obviously, it is a good honor. It's a great honor for me as well. To be recognized, just to even be considered for these types of award is just very humbling. Obviously, I'm not going to let it, skew my focus in any way like that, or my take to the game or anything like that. But it is very humbling, and we'll see how the season plays out.
Scott Wyckoff and then Dave Ginsburg.
Diego, Scott Wyckoff from WBAL Radio in Baltimore. Thanks for taking time for this afternoon. What's been the biggest adjustment now that you guys are in practice with the protocols in place that you didn't have to deal with actually going through your daily practices at the academy?
Yeah, Scott, I think the biggest thing here is just the way that practice is going. So usually we're really, we go against the offense every day. We'll kind of be hitting each other and not have to worry about socially distancing or kind of like those contact tracing problems. But each day we're not really interacting with the offense very much. It's more going against pads and tackling. For linebackers, we tackle like this donut. He like rolls the donut, and it's like a running back running away from us. We go and tackle it. And so it's very just different. Not seeing live bodies or getting live looks at certain plays and offenses and things like that. So it's definitely a big adjustment here in this early on here in camp.
What about this being your second full season at Mike linebacker? I know that was the position you were hoping to play when you got to school, and Coach Newberry put you there last year. What did you learn last year that you really want to build on and grow with in a second full season going against these teams at Mike?
So I think the biggest thing that I'm really looking forward to is my knowledge and seeing how that's going to take off this year. I basically know the whole defense with the help of my coaches, and now that I know my job specifically every single time, I know who's coming in, who's coming. I know everyone else's job as well. I have the liberty to play as fast as I can. Whereas last year, sometimes I hesitated a little bit just because I did know my job, but I wasn't too sure about it. And so sometimes I wouldn't take those chances to run through a gap and make a tackle. And I would just kind of sit back and wait to see what the running back does. Whereas this year, I know, okay, listen, I have this A gap, and I know there's someone outside that's going to force the ball back in if I don't make this play. So let me just take this chance. And so just becoming very comfortable with the defense and knowing the ins and outs has been really fundamental. And I hope it will be a key to our success this year.
Is a part of that also your communication with Coach Newberry, being able to get plays in from the sideline and do what he's thinking and kind of be inside his head also more this year?
You know, Coach Newberry, I think he trusts me a lot. He trusts the whole defense as a whole. And like I said, we're going to be taking a really big step this year because most of the guys on defense are returning. And so having him know that we know this defense way better is going to be way easier for him because he's just going to, okay, we're going to start throwing way more things at you guys this year. Versus last year, he kind of kept it basic in some way, especially at the beginning of the year. And then this year, like we're just going to have a great jump start into kind of switching things up, disguising, blitzing. And we have a whole lot of new packages this year. So.
And a final question for you, Diego. You mentioned summer. What was the first half of your summer like? What did you do before you came back to the academy in July?
Well, Scott, I'm from South Florida, so I live in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and most of my days were spent either going on the boat, going to the beach, just kind of doing what every other South Florida kid does each day. And on top of that, I was trying to work out as much as I can. Me and my best friend from back home, we were able to build a rack out of wood. And from there, we got like a barbell from our old high school, and we were able to work out in our garage. So we were working out, going to the beach, like I said. And then on top of that, sometimes I had classes. So I'd, knock out the homework at night or whatever it may be. But that was kind of what my day-to-day was.
Thanks a lot, Diego. Good luck.
Yeah. Thank you, Scott.
All right, we've got Dave Ginsburg and then Randy Cross.
Hi, Diego. Dave Ginsburg with the Associated Press. Talk about Navy football. Mostly everyone talks about the option, the offense, but it seems like this year you have a chance to turn that around and make everyone start talking about the Navy defense. Exciting for you to really make this maybe one of the better defenses that this team has seen in a long, long time.
Yeah, really excited. Like I said, everyone's very comfortable with this scheme, and Coach Newberry's been throwing new things at us. So I can't wait to see how we're going to progress this year even more.
Is there, as a follow-up on a different subject, is there any thought in your mind that there may not be an Army-Navy game this year? And if that does creep in, do you try to push it away? Because we all know how important that is.
Absolutely has creeped into my mind a little bit. And like I said, initially here at camp, I was just so unsure of what was going to happen. But taking everything day by day and just, controlling what you can control is the biggest thing here. I mean, I can't control if the season gets shut down. I can control how I practice each day. I can control how I lead each one of my teammates each day. But obviously, we want to play that Army-Navy game, and it would be very disappointing if we can't play, but I'm not going to put my focus on that. I'm going to put my focus on each practice, each rep, each whatever lift, each meeting, whatever it may be for that day.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you, Dave.
All right, we've got Randy Cross and then Kareem Copeland.
All right, Diego, you've got a bit of a mad scientist running your defense there. Got really fun. He's got plenty of personality, fun to talk to. When you guys got back, was there just sort of I guess, anticipation on your part? Because you can be really good on the defensive side of the ball. Just sort of like opening up a new present when you start doing these new installations?
Yeah, I think it's really exciting to see what we've been able to accomplish. So last year, I can kind of just shed some light onto what we're doing. Last year, we would call like a certain call. It would just be this, okay, this is what we're running on this play each time, right? It's going to be this one. But now Coach Newberry will call a certain play, and it's kind of like 3 subset plays. So depending on the formation, I'll make the check on what blitz we're going to run. And again, it's very exciting because we're setting ourselves up in the best situation possible against that offensive formation. And it just gives us so much more liberty to, again, play freely like I was talking about earlier.
Yeah. Hey, from your perspective, this is probably, well, without a doubt, the most unique sort of spring and semi-off season you'll ever go through. Where were you physically when you came back to the university? Do you think it suffered without spring? You suffered without organized workouts? Or do you think in general, most everybody got a chance to get stuff in, and whether they were building wood racks or borrowing equipment or whatever, that people kind of came back and they're ready to go?
You know, Randy, to be completely honest, I was very banged up at the end of last season. I played through quite a bit of injuries there. And so having this time off was actually very nice for my body, just to be able to recover, and to get kind of my legs back under me. With that being said, though, obviously there was some drawbacks not being able to compete with one another. Competition and having your teammates around you is something that I took for granted. And when I was home, I really, really craved it and missed it. Coming back to the academy, I don't think I was at my peak or my best. I did what I could at home, like you were saying, you know, building those racks, and that's what everyone was doing. Everyone on the team was just trying to do as much as they can so that they could at least maintain or have some type of foundation, so you're not starting from ground zero. Now, I think obviously now that we've been here a few weeks, I think we're a lot better off. But yeah, we should be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. From your perspective, have you tried one of these new face masks? The full mask where it just seems like not much comes in or goes out, and could you see yourself wearing something like that? Because functionally, it seems to be claustrophobia waiting to happen.
So I usually wear a visor. And if we do go to those new face masks, I wouldn't have a problem with that, just because I'm used to kind of having something in front of my face a little bit. I have not tried them out yet. It's not something that we have had at the academy here. But I wouldn't be opposed to it. Like I said, I mean, as long as we're playing ball, like, I'll be fine with whatever precautions, whatever things we need to take to be able to play Army, to be able to play BYU and the teams that were scheduled here. So.
Great. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Randy.
Kareem Copeland, and then John Sadak.
Hey, Diego. Kareem from the Washington Post.
Can't hear you, Kareem.
Oops. Try to get a little closer to the second there. Can you hear me, Diego?
Yeah, I can hear you all right.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Everybody obviously around the country is trying to figure out safety protocols and things like that. And coaches said, you guys are kind of in a good position because you've kind of got a natural bubble because you're at the academy. And I was just curious, what's the feel off the field of safety? Do you guys feel that also, that you guys are probably in a better spot than some other campuses that don't have that natural barrier that you guys have?
Yeah, Kareem, I mean, honestly, we're way better off than most teams, just considering the fact that we have a lot more rules regulated here. We're used to kind of being very disciplined. Don't do this, don't do that. And yeah, I mean, we kind of have gates on all around our campus. And so we're able to facilitate who comes in and who comes out. So this bubble that we have is an upper hand that we have on most teams. Most teams are probably concerned about guys, you know, leaving to go get food every night, or leaving to go go visit someone that they might want to see, whereas we're all just together in one tight bubble. And so I definitely think we have the upper hand there. It is nice to know that we're probably not going to really get COVID from any one of us. It'll be from another team, or just like a freak accident, you know.
Thank you.
Yep.
John Sadak, then Bill Wagner.
Hey, John Sadak, CBS Sports Network. Diego, you're a lot of fun to watch play. You are furious and violent out there. And I see a lot of that from the infectious attitude of Coach Volker, who I'm pumped to talk with later this week. Could you share with us what he is like and what your dynamic is like with him?
Honestly, I think we feed off of each other a little bit. Sometimes he'll kind of notice that I'm down, or vice versa, and we'll both kind of try to get each other hyped back up again, and bring that new energy. Obviously, having a coach like him is very, very nice, because you never know what's going to come next. He's always, like I said, just very, very energetic, very vocal. And it's, again, very, very nice to have a coach like that. But at the end of the day, it does come from inside. He does influence me a ton, and having him as a coach is very helpful. And he teaches me a ton about just having that excitement, having that energy, because people can feed off your energy, and that could be either positive or negative. And so if you got bad energy, it could get the rest of the team down, and you might not be in that groove that you may want when push comes to shove, though. So yeah, it's great having him as a coach at the end of the day.
His turn of phrase specifically for you often was wrecking ball. That he viewed you as that kind of that object that he can shift around all over on the field, and Coach Newberry as well. When did that first come about? Did he say that at practice one day, or did a teammate say it, or how did that come about?
Honestly, I don't really know. It was like, I think it was one of those things that just kind of was brought up in an interview. I think I'm not really sure where that nickname kind of came from. But it was after one of these practices that I was able to kind of blitz the line and kind of wreak havoc a little bit there. But again, all of that ability just goes back to the coaches. Coaches coached me up very well just to know my job. And so most of that credit just goes to them, you know.
I know in one of Scott's Meet the Mid features on you, when he asked you if you could play any other position, you said quarterback. Do you ever get throws up? Do you ever nudge Coach Jasper on like a decoy package one day? Maybe I could get some offensive reps?
To be completely honest, I don't know if you guys saw my pick six, but the ball just doesn't feel like comfortable in my hands anymore. I played quarterback till I was about like in 8th grade. And so it's always been one of those positions. I mean, I played baseball my whole life. It's always been one of those positions I wanted to pursue. But like I told my dad when I was in those teenage years, I like to hit. And so I'd rather play linebacker. And obviously quarterback is, you know, the prime position in the triple option, but I'm happy where I'm at right now.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, John.
Bill Wagner and then Phil Bergman.
So, Diego, Coach Newberry has talked about maybe letting you loose this year, obviously trying to take advantage of your talents. What does that mean exactly? Can you maybe share the discussions you've had with Coach Newberry and Coach Volker about what this means? Are you going to be able to maybe perhaps make split-second decisions on your own as to whether maybe to blitz or, you know, kind of tell us what that means, letting Diego loose?
Yeah, so I think I was kind of talking about this with either Randy or Dave earlier, where I was saying Coach Newberry will give us like a certain call, and we'll be able to, based on the formation, make a call on the field. And so I think that he's been able to kind of, like I said, I was talking about how comfortable we've been in this defense. So he's been able to throw new things at us. And a lot of the times the safety and myself will make a decision on the field. And so that's kind of what he's meant by letting me loose, is he's been able to just give me something and I make the choice. And so I'll be able to like run freely around the field, if that makes sense at all. So.
And on that note, I've been kind of talking about how the coaching staff feels that you can be such an impact player, more so than last season even. And, you know, some of the preseason accolades, et cetera. Any pressure you feel to perform? I mean, you're not an unknown anymore, Diego.
I think without God, I definitely would feel very pressured. But I'm just so comfortable in this new defense, and I don't know. I just go out there and play like it was, you know, any other type of day. If I was a freshman, if I was a sophomore, if I'm a junior, whatever accolades I might one day achieve or whatever it may be. I'm not really under that much pressure, but just because of the way that the coaches trust me, I know they trust me. Yeah, I'm good, you know.
Anything else, Wags? All right, we got Phil Bergman and then Mitchell Northern.
Hey, Diego. Life's been flipped upside down since the pandemic started in March. How's it as a player just to be back out on that practice field, playing the game you love, and just what's the spirit like out in practices?
Yeah, there's a ton of energy at practice right now just because we haven't been together for so long. We haven't been on the field in so long, and having that chance to be able to even practice each day has been such a blessing. And like I said, you never know what practice might be your last. And so just approaching each day like it could be your last is very rewarding at the end of the day. And, yeah, again, we're bringing so much energy because of it. So it's been very great.
And in those meet the mid features, a lot of your teammates are calling you potentially the defensive player to watch out for this year. Just having the respect of your teammates this early on, what does that mean to you?
Very, very humbling that those guys would pick that, because I know there's so many other good players on our team and especially on our defense. I'm just excited to see how we can all grow as a team and as a unit. Obviously, I'm just one little pawn in a big chess match, and so having those guys even consider me as one of the best players is very humbling. But it's all about the team right now.
Thank you.
Mitchell Northern, and then we have a free spot if anyone else has follow-ups. Mitchell, you're up.
Hey, Diego. Yeah, thanks for doing this with SB Nation. I was just wondering, you had a question about preparation until about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. You guys were all off season looking forward to playing Notre Dame as your first game. And then all of a sudden they're out and BYU's in. How fast, I guess, what kind of adjustment has that been over the past week and a half or whatever? And how do you, if it was Notre Dame still, you would have had the whole off season to prepare for them. BYU, you have, 4 or 5 weeks now. So what is that, I guess, just switching gears in preparation been like?
Honestly, leading up to this point right now in camp, we don't really focus much on the opposing team as players. I know the coaches, it might be a totally different story, but as a player, it's more about just understanding, like creating a foundation of, okay, this is what we do on this play, just figure out your job on each play. So that when you get to the game week, the coaches will have that game plan to call whatever they may want to call. And so realistically, obviously we wanted to play Notre Dame. That's pretty disappointing. We can't, but it doesn't change much for me day to day, other than, the colors on the jerseys are probably going to be different. So yeah, again, not much changes for us.
Anyone have any other questions? All right. Thank you, Diego.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, bud.
Thank you.